Good morning. I had initially planned to do an unboxing this morning, but Will Smith chose violence last night. And as a result, I am compelled to talk about it. And let me just say this Brooklyn Nets versus Philadelphia 76ers thing has just unexpectedly been elevated to a whole nother level. I have a lot of emotions based on what happened, and I've read a lot of stuff overnight. I barely slept. As you can see, I already made a shirt. It's what I do. I focus on being creative when my mind is wandering. But here's the thing. Will Smith chose violence last night. And even on his level of this millionaire, most famous person in the world, he still had to walk the same fine line that every black man I know has been walking since the day he was born. It's a fine line between choosing violence and letting shit slide. We do that. I grew up in Philadelphia, as he did. And we know that there are tests that we have to pass in our society. There are active shooters in our community. And then there are regular people like, me and you who get into fistfights. So what I'm saying is, when people say, it was just a joke or whatever, some people can say shit to you and some people just can't. And people want to make the joke that Will Smith, he picked a easy target. Yeah, because some people can say shit to you and some people can't. Now, mind you, we know there are people in our community, like these active shooters I mentioned, that might say something to you, and you just gonna have to let that slide. Because if you're really not ready to go where they willing to go with any situation, you can't enter upon that situation with them. But then there's other people that say slick stuff out their mouth, and you go right up in their mouth. Like, oh, you can't say that to me. So I feel like this is a situation not even like that, because Chris Rock has a history of making jokes. We all get that. And I didn't think the joke was bad. Will Smith even laughed at the joke. But Will Smith is in a toxic relationship. We'll get to that later. Well, like I'm saying now, Chris Rock has said things, maybe it was 2018, he had mentioned something about Jada Pinkett was protesting the Oscars, and basically to the degree that her protest meant nothing to the Oscars because, like, who is she? Or Will Smith wasn't nominated, some stuff. So I think that lit the fuse years ago. I don't condone the slap. I mean, it caught me by surprise. I must have watched it 1,000 times, but I understand it. I understand that this fine line we walk as black men, we have our breaking point. And although I wish it didn't happen to Chris, I understand that it had to happen to somebody. Because even though we look at this dude as somehow, supposed to be more elevated because he made it in society, he's still walking around with the same baggage we all walking around with. And he will be judged by those very same people who exalted him and held him up high. Because I read where Jemele Hill said that this is going to be a two Americas moment. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. All those people that love Will Smith worldwide, they're going to come for him. They're going to condemn him. Because these same people whose ancestors were willing to string black men up or lynch little boys for supposedly whistling at a woman will condemn Will Smith slapping another black man, because they will say that it soiled their institution, their lofty tradition of excellence. He sullied that. And he will fulfill the black stereotype that they all the same. Oh, and they're going to come for him because they already started. Because there's nothing the other America likes to do more than tear one of us down that they feel has elevated himself above the rest. They'll use it as an example to the rest of y'all Negroes. Okay? And then also I want to comment on all the other people that say Will Smith picked the easy target. Will Smith, he trained to play Ali. I feel like anybody who ever said anything negative about Will Smith, y'all ain't really go to his face and say it. Because I like his chances against any of y'all joke makers. Will Smith can handle himself. He knows how to shoot guns and all that. All that stuff for Ali, he knows how to box. He knows how to do it. It's not just for movies. If y'all think Rocky or Sylvester Stallone is tough because he played Rocky, he is. Because they learn how to fight. He learn how to use his hand. Y'all think Michael B. Jordan don't know how to fight? Try. They do. They got the best trainers to make that stuff look realistic. And sometimes they don't be pulling punches. So, for saying that he picked the easy target, I say he picked the target that he can get his hands on. Okay, this dude, August, I don't even know that he was a target because I heard in the 90s from somebody who was closer to do, it's just a rumor, don't sue me, that they had an open relationship. And this whole red table talk was, I don't know, it was a way to get in front of any kind of scandal. But speaking of which, Will Smith is in a toxic marriage. He got a toxic wife. That's by his own choosing. But I remember when Jada Pinkett Smith was on a talk show years ago. I think it was with Keenen Ivory Wayans. That's how long ago. And she would say how she thought Will Smith was corny and her and Tupac had to lip sync to his music. Then you wound up marrying that dude. So it's somewhere deep down inside you married him because, it's a status thing. Maybe you loved him. I don't know. You had kids with him. But he's still Will Smith. But somewhere deep down inside, do you still think he that corny dude? Is that why you act like you act with him? Is that the Baltimore hoe in you coming out? I don't know. But I know what it's like to be in a relationship with a toxic female. One that expects you to fight. It reminds me of that scene in 5 Heartbeats when the girl leaves with Leon and the dude comes back with the drinks like, every day I got to prove my love. I got to fight somebody to prove my love. That's Jada Pinkett Smith right there. Because Will Smith thought it was funny. And the joke was mild. It was mild. It was like the Chris Rock. It was mild. He nailed it. It wasn't funny or not funny. It was just a throw-in and parting. She rolled her eyes. Will Smith laughed. The first thing I saw was her reaction to it. She rolled her eyes. Will Smith was, he was laughing, funny. And then he got his cue from his woman. Oh no, I didn't like that. Now he got to prove his love. He got to go lay hands on another man. Because that's the fine line we walk in America. Black men, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You a coward. You a sucker. A pussy. A bitch. If somebody uses words and you don't use violence. Because you can't do word back. See, with men, there's only so much arguing we can do. And like I'm apt of saying, and I know y'all probably don't think listen, I'm prone to violence. I'm fond of saying, well, how strongly do you feel about it? Because it comes to a point where I'm past talking. But see, now, those same people that held you in high regard, they're going to tear you down, Will. Because they scared when a black man uses violence. When you are prone to violence, you got to be locked away. You got to be excommunicated. You have to be sanctioned in some way because they argue with words. They get lawyers. They sue. We fight. They don't like that. Those same people that held you in high regard is going to tear you down because you chose violence. You're intellectual, you're spiritual. But when the moment presented itself, you chose violence. And they are going to turn their back on you as a result because they cannot condone it even though they are extremely violent. But that's their right to be violent. because they have a righteous cause. And if your cause is not as righteous as them, you're wrong. We saw what happened at the Capitol building. Them people look like zombie apocalypse. They was violent. And there are people in our government right now justifying it. People on TV justifying it. But Will Smith slaps one comedian, and he is Hannibal Lecter. And don't get it twisted. Will Smith got a history of slapping people because, he put his hands on people because, he's a Philly dude. That's what we do. I used to tell people when I was in the Navy, they said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Philly, home of the fair one." Like, we fight. Everybody in Philly, even the corniest dude you might know, we still know that when it's go time, it's go time, and it's time to put your hands up. Only people we don't put our hands up against is the people that's shooters. They active shooters. And remember, his first hit was, "I think I could beat Mike Tyson." So he thought he had hands even then. Listen, this is just my thoughts. I hope it inspires some sort of discussion in the comments. I mean, this is a watershed moment. I mean, it's not Pearl Harbor or Kennedy assassination or 9/11, but it's Mike Tyson biting the ear off. It's something. It's going to be one of them two OJ kind of verdicts, like them two nations right now. It's a two-nation reaction. No, it's fine if you're playing basketball and you catching a football and you acting on the screen, Will. But when you start putting your hands on people, yeah, you just like everybody else, bro. And they're going to come for you.